Hello, YouTube viewers. This is your chosen, or you are chosen, whichever you prefer. So, I'm kind of a little bit under the weather, but something kind of really stuck out to me, and I felt the discernment or the need to kind of talk about this. And it's not in a bad way, like how other vloggers do, and even certain vloggers, they don't talk it in a bad way, but they do bring awareness, and everybody has opinions. Okay, the thing about this, and in particular, wanted to mention the friendships of both Shamar, Ty, and Tommy, and how different they truly are. I really liked when they were the Three Musketeers. Now, I like to kind of like fiddle back and forth because I have so much to say in one sentence that like my mind just, I'm trying to piece it together. So please bear with me if I go from one sentence and then I think to the next. I will probably eventually go back to what I was saying before. Okay, so back to what I was saying. I really like the friendship between Shamar, Ty, and Tommy because their Three Musketeer duo was what really brought people to watch them. Little do they have the understanding of knowing. The part is understanding what broke them apart and if they are truly broken apart. A lot of people say that this is for um it's publicity, it's stunts, that they really don't hate each other. But if you look at some of the things that have conspired, you would think differently. Now, particularly, I want to say Tommy leans on to, and he talks about certain vloggers, that discuss what's happening with Shamar or what the dislikes or what they feel. You cannot fight vloggers just like you are a blogger. You cannot fight people who have an opinion on what they're seeing, especially if they have been the viewer for so long. I'm one of those that have watched them for a very long time. And sometimes I would comment, sometimes I wouldn't. I was a silent watcher. I was, as people would say, quote unquote, an observer type. So, yeah. And also, a lot of these things is on YouTube. If you double back in the past, which this particular person hates so much, but again, it's there for you to see. So anyway, there's a particular. We got to get to the nitty gritty as to why their friendship even ended and how different. What is the difference between Ty's relationship with Shamar and Tommy's? There is a huge difference, kind of. I noticed that in certain videos later down the line, like maybe 2 3 years or 2 years or a year, well, I would say a year down the line, there were some videos out there where Ty friendship was with Shamar was really, really good. It became kind of rocky from my noticing is that when Ty would correct Shamar on certain vocabulary and in certain mathematical equations. We're talking about with his math. We're talking about with his social media and his life. And this was during a trip. If you guys go back, there is a video when they had that trip where they were in Texas and they were in the pool. And Ty was mentioning that he looked on his phone and he was saying to us, the viewers, that and to Shamar as well, do you know that you got people that want you to they want to do your hair for free? You just gotta promote them on your page. And you can see that Ty, for him to explain that to Shamar, was just really him being a genuine friend, letting him know that you can get your hair done, you can be promoting, you can get your nails done, you can get paid if you did this. But Shamar, being that his intellect is really not that good, he's not comprehending what's being sent to him. Okay. Shamar had a lot of viewing. He had a lot of people sending things into his Cash App. So let's turn down to the friendship. Let's turn over to the friendship between Shamar and Tommy. That one was different as well because at one point, Shamar was going through a situation where, after his mother passed away, that was his build, his foundation. That was really where everything just crumbled. And being that you have to now survive on your own, it's really difficult when the person that's taking care or trying to take care of your financial needs and well-being is your parent. So I completely understand that once that happened to him, situations changed. The whole thing that Shamar and Tommy had in common is that they both lost a parent. I believe. If I'm not mistaken, they both lost a loved one. So that's where they kind of came into each other. And yes, at one point Tommy was letting Shamar stay there. Now let's get to the nitty gritty, because the past is what's being brought up that's really making Tommy a little upset. Not too much Ty. But we're going to get to Ty's situation too as well. Because like Tommy said before in videos, Ty is not perfect. Ty, everybody likes Ty, but Ty is not. Yeah, I remember those videos as well where that was being mentioned, and Tommy would be absolutely correct. But we're gonna get to that after this. The relationship became a little rocky once I think Shamar had issues with his Cash App. Okay, so Tommy said no problem, send it to mine. This was during a year where you can do that. You if you trusted a friend, hey, they're gonna send me money on my Cash App. Can you just give it to me because my Cash App is banned or it's not working or whatever the case may be. Tommy agreed and said, just put in the description for Shamar and I will make sure that Shamar gets it. Now you have to understand something. Shamar Cash App was flowing, so he knew how much money and revenue he was getting. Okay, the problem is that Shamar's scratching his head because he cannot believe that he's not getting the funds that he used to get. Okay, from what my knowledge is, seeing videos and also it's really prevalent to watch the comments too and look at the comments, and this one comment in particular stood out for me, and that's when I said boom, this makes so much sense now. And the comment read, and this was during the time that Shamar and they were on the plane, and they had to do an overlay flight or something like that because they missed their flight. No, they ended up missing their flight, so Shamar had to come out of pocket for another flight, which Shamar didn't want to do, which you guys should have never been late. But anyway, getting back to the Cash App part, the whole situation was that they had that agreement, okay? And from the comment that I saw, the person said that Tommy was getting $1,000 off of Shamar. He was getting thousands. Now, I don't know how true it is, but I believe it. I do believe it, because Shamar didn't want to put out. And the reason, and Shamar knows you can't live nowhere rent free. Shamar knows that. But Shamar knows how much Cash Apps and money he was getting. The one thing about Shamar is he may not be book smart, but when it's money, he ain't funny with it, okay? He knows his stuff and he senses and he listens to that part of himself that says, well, this is not correct because this is not what I was normally getting. Even if it's your Cash App, I know how much money I was getting on my Cash App. You know what I'm saying? So somebody said that Tommy was getting thousands of dollars in his Cash App, and that money could have very well been to Shamar's friend. And he's gonna say, well, no, and he keeps bringing up, no, Shamar was living with me rent free, or Shamar stayed with me. Yeah, that's what you want to mention, but you never mention the part that when Shamar Cash App after those years was messed up, you agreed and you offered that he should use yours to do that. Okay? Which was so messed up because it didn't go well. Shamar ended up getting that situation taken care of, not really right away, not immediately, but he eventually did get that situation taken care of, okay? I'm pretty sure he had somebody in his camp to tell him, this and this is happening. And the person that I think did was Kiki, okay? Now let's go back over to Ty's relationship with Shamar. I liked it so much, and a lot of people did, because Ty corrected him. Ty did not want Shamar to stay in ignorance. But what was getting Ty upset is that how could this man get all this supporters and all this money, but he's not using it to sponsor or to put out promotions for these people. He's avoiding it. He can't look at it. He can't read it. He can't comprehend it. He's not understanding. He needs a team. But Shamar doesn't want you to correct him when it comes to things like that, because he doesn't want to feel inferior to you. Again, even though these men are gay, they still have an alpha complex. And we have to understand that they are alpha males. And Shamar does not want to feel stupid to somebody else that might be more smarter than him. Let's be for real. Okay? So I really do think that their dynamic wasn't perfect with Ty and Shamar, but Ty really was trying, okay? Now, a lot of people said Ty did the right thing and he moved in silence. But understand why. Ty started doing his own thing when he went on this reality show, okay? And from the reality show, whatever check he was getting, that's when he moved in silence. But before then, before the reality show, let's go back to, because there was a time where Kiki, and you guys know her name is Miss Kiki, I think, and I watch her as well, and I follow her as well on my IG page. Miss Kiki ended up sending Ty $100 on Shamar's behalf, on Ty's Cash App, because Shamar's Cash App, like I said before, was not working, okay? Kiki ended up going live. Kiki went live. I jumped in the live. And it's too bad because at that time when everybody was video recording, I was not. So I don't have that video, but I'm sure it's out there. It might be out there. I don't know. But Kiki sent $100 to Shamar to Ty's Cash App on behalf of Shamar. Kiki got on live and Kiki was questioning and asked Ty, did you give Shamar the money? Did you get the money that I sent for Shamar? Ty said he never got it. That's when red alarms were going off in Kiki's mind. Kiki is a smart woman. And sometimes it's best to keep your friends close, but your enemies closer type of thing. And Shamar doesn't get that discernment to get away when he's in some type of danger. He'll stay in that predicament. Normally, we would leave something that's hurting us, right? But no, not Shamar, okay? Because his situation and cognitive mind is different than ours. And maybe he didn't quite think that his friends would do him like that, or that particular friend would do that. But that's what happened. Ty was trying to act like he didn't have the money. People were in the comments on IG, and they were like, Ty, just give Kiki the $100 back. People are like thinking that he might have already spent it. That's what I thought. But he ended up giving her the money back, because guess what? He didn't have no choice, and he didn't want to look like the bad guy. Now, to me, Ty does not give the stealing type vibe from me, but Tommy said in previous videos on live, everybody likes Ty, but Ty isn't innocent. That's where I went back, and I'm going back to that point now, is that yes, I liked watching Ty. I was more supporter of Ty than any of the two, to be honest with you, because I like that Ty he wanted to help Shamar in any way that he could, even help him in his arrogance by correcting him. That's a true friend to me, okay? No, I didn't know that that's something he would do. But if Tommy's friends with Ty, of course Tommy would know. You know, if you know, you know. The thing about this is Tommy is relying and reluctant on the new supporters that don't know what's going on. So they're calling it a hate train, okay? But it's not the hate train. What it is the older followers that's been following for a long time, seeing what's going on. So now all of a sudden, Tommy is a vlogger. Everybody is confused as to how they become a vlogger. Let me explain something to you, why he became a vlogger, for those who are completely oblivious and who haven't been watching Tommy for as long as I have and many others. We know why that situation happened. Messi knows why that situation happened. Things that Messi knew and information. See, okay, Messi comes in the picture because when Messi first came out, right, he came out spilling a lot of tea that was Shamar's tea. But that's because he started to get really close with Shamar. Mind you, Messi does not live in this area. He doesn't live in, not this area, excuse me, because I don't live in Atlanta. But Messi does not live in Atlanta. But whatever, but Tommy's friendship with Messi, it stood out to me so, not weird, but it stood out more than anything because I'm like, why are they friends? They have nothing in common. But the thing about it is, Tommy didn't have the balls at that time to out his friend. He didn't want to seem like the bad friend, but he was. Because information that Messi knew, he knew because of Tommy. This is why I'm saying, this is why people say, why have friends when you have enemies? Because something that your friend is telling you, something that is private, no matter if you guys are going through something, certain things, especially if it's family related, should be off limits. Nobody knew who Shamar's sister was, or even that he had a sister or that the sister was gay. We had no idea of that information. The only people that I can think could have said, could have told Messi that was Tommy, because that was private. Nobody knew that. Even if you were someone who digs for hardcore information, there was no way that Messi would have even knew that. That came straight from Tommy. That's where their downfall of their friendship became. And I think Shamar, he speaks to him and they speak to each other, but yeah. But Tommy T also gets clocked. Now let me just let you guys know, this is no way, shape, or form a platform to harass, to but to bring information to those who are unaware. My channel is not based to do that, but to based on pure facts and what I see in my opinions. Okay, that's all this is, and I like them all, and I liked all three of them when they were the Three Musketeers. I like them all, but there are certain things with each and every one of them that just does not sit well with people who've been watching them for a long time. This is why it has been so confusing time for us who's been watching a long time. How did Tommy become a vlogger? And that's how that became. Because once Messi stopped cutting him out of it, I think that Messi was giving him a little bit of the cash apps. Just a little bit of it, a portion of it. And I think Messi realized, I'm not doing that no more. This is my money. I got a child to take care of too. So Messi stopped giving Tommy some of that money. And Tommy was like, for all of that, guess what? I can be vlogging. I can be the blogger. And I can spill Shamar's tea. I don't got to be embarrassed. But that gets to show you the friendship that they truly had, if there was ever any. Because no friendship will allow you to go to an individual and tell an individual your private family situation, so that people could go who don't even know Shamar or who have hatred for him to go find out and go look and go harass this woman. That's what I'm saying. There's no way that Messi would have known that. And I'm saying this now, if you guys don't believe me, what tea has Messi came up with? All the tea that we even knew was because of Tommy. Tommy didn't have the balls, like I said in the beginning at the time, to say anything about it. Because how does that look like talking about your friend? When it got, what if you need your friend for a little bit of cash? How does it look like that person knowing that you're talking or even putting their sister, their blood out there on the internet? Something that was really private. I'm going to tell you something right now. I would not tell Tommy that I had a speck of lint on me. He will spill it. Any little tea that's about you, he will spill it if you are not giving him anything. Now, allegedly with this because I'm not done with talking about their friendship dynamic, but I want to jump on something real quick. According to people, they said that Tommy was getting $5,000. Okay, I just sit on that. People said that money came from this. People said that money. Now, don't get me wrong. He got a really good friendship with Shakana. I'm wondering if now a lot of people said that the money came from him having to claim his son. But what if Shakana claimed his son and Shakana gave him some of the money? I mean, I'm just saying he got a really good friendship with Shakana that if he needed money, I'm sure Shakana wouldn't mind giving it to him. And Shamar had a really good friendship with Shakana as well. I don't know what happened with that. But, sometimes with people, where comes power, comes destruction thereafter. And I say that because people who are they think that they're, as Tommy would say, bigger than the program, but I'm going to say bigger than, they are forgetting and forgetful of the past, of where they came from, which makes them who they are in the moment. Okay? Once you do that, then destruction thereafter, because you are acting like you are better than the ones that you needed. Shakana was the one that he needed, and all of a sudden there's some issues. I think in one thing Shakana said to Shamar, "Oh, I messaged you and I said I wanted some tennis shoes." Shamar didn't say nothing about it, but she said she was joking. Now, I'm not getting on Shakana, but I'm saying jokingly or not jokingly, she wanted to see what his response was as a friend. And I don't blame her for that. Because that gets to show you who truly down for you. And if Shamar would have said, yeah, let me know what kind of tennis shoes that you want, I'll get it for you, it would have showed her what type of friendship she really had in Shamar. Sometimes money shows you the people who are really true and dear to you. Once they get the money, they don't know you after that. And they stuck with you when you didn't have anything. To me, Shakana is one of those people. And I think that's why Tommy's friendship with Shakana is so good that way, because they wouldn't do that to each other, I feel. But maybe because of Shamar's, his mind, he don't know what good people are because he's been through so much. Imagine having to lose loved ones and go through what you go through and have people take from you, but you don't know who true love is or true friendships. It explains why Shamar jumps from different men, because he doesn't know what true love is. He doesn't know what a true friendship is. And it's really, really sad, guys, to see their dynamic crumble, because they as a group really holds numbers, really holds money financially. Them separately, to me, doesn't do it. But them as a whole really was exciting, really was funny, made you want to tune in, made you want to watch, because all of them gave something that was different. And them separating it was kind of strange. But they all are different in their different ways, and they all give different. But like I said, Ty went on to do bigger and better things within himself privately. Didn't want to be in a mess, and I completely understand that. Tommy went on to vlogging. He didn't need messy anymore. Hey, why am I giving you this tea when I know all the tea? And you're spilling it and not giving me any cut of it. But the bad side of it is that, why would you out your friend who you live in Atlanta with, who you knew for years? Like I said, these are not women. So to see them act like that makes so much sense, because they are alpha. They are alpha males. They want to be the top dog. But I liked every one of them individually. Tommy is funny in his own way, makes some certain points, but he has his own issues. Remember, Tommy was on pills for a minute. What his own T was clogged. The building that he supposedly lived in, quote unquote, And this is from Messi, getting it from some, like I said, Messi's information comes from other people, other sources. That Tommy's living in a building that's for people who are HIV and AIDS positive. Now we are nobody to judge, and that's a serious thing if that's the case. But maybe that would make anybody want to be on pills, anybody to be upset. But there is a noticeable hatred and animosity that you see between Tommy and Shamar. It's there, okay? Whatever it is, only he knows, but it's there. It's noticeable because we who follow for years, we see it. And when people say, "Hey, you hating on him," he crashes out. He gets so upset and he yells, "What I gotta hate about?" Da, 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 da. It's there. Whatever it is there. Maybe the certain popularity, maybe the certain money, maybe the certain him not having to pay certain expenses. Who knows? Okay? But you know what? As people, we all grow and we all live this world, and we're all living this life differently, no matter what the circumstances may be. None of it is perfect. It's real. And eventually, if Shamar is living off of a CPN apartment, all things good come crashing down because you're not getting nothing legitimately. Okay? But anyway, I really, back to their friendship. They were good as a whole. Separate, they're just different. But as a whole, they're good. And I think that Ty knows that. That's why Ty still has that video up of Tommy and Shamar, because he knows that that's where everything began. Not where it ended, but really where it started. And you can't forget where you started from. So this is just my opinion of where I think things fall in between a friendship. It could be more that I'm unaware of. I'm not perfect, but I just vlog and talk about what I see, what maybe that falls through the cracks. Maybe somebody didn't get a chance to see that part. But again, guys, if you did stay to watch this, I appreciate it and I thank you. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I really would appreciate it. It does help me and it's free. So please do that for me. It's free. And I appreciate the support. I am a small channel. And hopes that I can get bigger. But if I continue to be the small channel, that's okay. I do still and will always be appreciative of anything small from a view. It's okay, and it has always been.